All right, I'm here with Eric and Ariel. A lot of you know Eric as Oreo Boy. You saw his picture. You see many pictures of Eric, but someone who eats. How many Oreos do you eat on average per day?
About 9 a day.
Is that just your? Are you OCD or do you just like 9 or?
No, that's 3 serving sizes because a serving size is 3 Oreos. So I found that's about 66 grams of carbs and about 17 grams of fat. So that fits in my macros beautifully.
That's really not that many macros when you think about it for 9 Oreos.
No, that's like just about a whole sleeve. You know, a whole sleeve has 13. Some days, if I really want to play around with it, I'll, consume a lot of my protein for breakfast and lunch, and at night I'll have like maybe 15 to 20 Oreos. But that's on like special occasions.
So, a big question I get about you is, does Eric eat any good foods? Because you eat Oreos, you're one hell of a cook. There's some protein cheesecake in my fridge, courtesy of you. You've been to my house before, made killer fettuccine Alfredo. But you eat Oreos every day. If you had to quantify, what percentage of food would you say is good versus bad?
Well, Oreos is all good, baby.
Well, and I agree with you, but I mean, if you had to talk to people about, I eat this much healthy food versus less healthy food.
People, all they really see on my Facebook is when I post the really messed up breakfasts, like I'll eat Reese's with Oreos, chocolate syrup, and all that jazz, but I do balance it with healthy food. It's just no fun, who takes a picture of a salad.
You know what I tell people, you and I know each other from jiu-jitsu. It would be like putting up a video of you getting your arm broken versus choking somebody out.
Right.
So that's like your PR.
Pretty much, and during the day I'll make a shrimp ceviche or, a chicken salad. I mix it up, I'll make a protein cheesecake that has 26 grams of protein in it.
That thing is legit.
Yeah, it took me a couple tries to make it right.
I will say, out of everyone I've worked with, you are definitely one of the most varied. Like, you will try anything and figure out the macros on it.
Yeah, and what I found, that's just, I guess, my obsessive compulsive side. I really want to know what I'm eating because I knew what flexible dieting was before I got with you, but I just wasn't going about it the right way. Wasn't following the right macros, wasn't being consistent. But once I got with you and I started being consistent, I really wanted to hit my numbers every single day. And, whether it's ice cream, anything, I weigh it out. I'm very consistent about it because I always want to know exactly what I'm putting in. So when it comes to making recipes like that, cheesecake, fettuccine Alfredo, I actually take the extra 2 minutes to weigh it out just so I can know for sure the exact macros I'm eating, even though some people would argue, that doesn't really matter, just eyeball it.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, 2 minutes. So, now, my style is to always have an attractive girl in the shop, but Ariel's not just here to look pretty, but because she's your significant other. She's seen your transformation, but, this is kind of like a counseling session. Your relationship is almost ending because she's not willing to do macros. Is that the case?
No.
No, you two are madly in love, crazy in love. However, you're Mr. Flexible Eater. Ariel, we've set you up. What's going on?
I mean, I don't know. I like it. I don't know. I've never really heard of flexible dieting before I met both of you. And I mean, when he cooks my lunch, I'll bring it to work. And my boss, she's like, "Are you sure that's going to fit your macros? Because, you can pretty much eat anything you want." And she just looks at me like I'm insane because I'm eating chili with a Coke or something.
I saw that on Facebook. So, would you say one of the obstacles people are going to come across are less educated people, not less educated, but people that don't know enough about what you're doing, almost giving you shit about it?
I mean,
all the time.
Yeah, pretty much all the time. A
Yeah.
lot of the girls in the office that I work with pretty much give me a lot of crap.
And they're all overweight.
Yeah, and they're overweight, but I don't know. They just look at the things that,
They may see this, so we might not want to.
Yeah,
they're nice. They're nice people.
They just see the things that I'm eating, and they just kind of freak out because they're like, "How are you dieting?
Yeah.
How are you still losing weight?"
And
I don't think it's like possible.
You know, like one of the videos you posted earlier with your friend Marissa, you know, clean eating versus flexible eating. Flexible eating can be clean eating. It is, you know, you're eating consistently every day, but you know, I found that especially with her, I'll help her, you know, prep her meals or whatever. She's eating her lunch at work, minding her own business, and you have all these other people coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, you can't be eating that. That's not how you lose fat. That's unhealthy. You know, that's not good for you in the long run." And at the same time, you look at her number on the scale, and she started at 133,
Yeah.
and you were 128 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not been very long. That's just a couple weeks
Like,
in.
2-3 weeks, not even 3 weeks yet.
Right. And we're talking, I mean, you know, to some people they hear 5 pounds, but 5 pounds on Ariel is not the same 5 pounds on a guy that weighs 250, 260 pounds. So
Right.
that's a big percentage of your body weight.
Right, you know, and so it's obvious, and that's with very little exercise because we just started going back into the gym last week, middle of last week. So, you know, once you couple it with exercise, the pounds are just, you're gonna keep seeing a transformation, and it's working. So obviously we're doing something right, but it's very hard to convince a lot of people, even if you sit down and take the time to explain to them. Nobody really wants to believe, oh, I can eat cheesecake and chug it down with a soda and still lose weight. Fat, still lose fat, not weight, you know?
Yeah, but body fat.
Right, there is a difference, you know? And I think that's just the biggest hurdle for flexible, people who want to try flexible dieting. You really have to take the time and educate them and stay on top of them. Just make sure, you know, like they're getting the hang of it, because it's not enough just to explain it to them.
Great advice. Would you have one piece of advice for someone that is skeptical and they might be willing to try it? Would you give them any piece of advice?
My advice to them would be, anything you've ever heard about dieting, nutrition wise, set it aside. I'm not saying completely discard it. You know, you may have heard some good advice and legitimate advice before, but just discard it and try and learn as much as you can about flexible dieting, how it works, the science behind it, and exactly when you try it. That way you don't have all these preconceptions that, oh, I'm supposed to lose fat by eating kale salads with carrots and baked chicken. You know, set it all aside and try something new, because that's what it is. You know, you've never done dieting like this before, and it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So that'd be my advice to you. Just any misconceptions you have about food, do your best to put it aside and just give it a shot 100%, and that's how you're successful in it.
Awesome. Thanks for your feedback. Now let's talk about that rent money.